King,
I don't know
have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Greetings, y'all, and welcome to Seek Things Above TV. I'm your host, Lou Ciccone. So before we get into this bizarre phenomenon of fake thuggery, if you like content like this, y'all know what to do. Please be sure to like the video, share the video, ring the bell for notifications, and do all that good stuff. Subscribe as well, because it lets the algorithm know that you like content like this. So without further ado, though, let's hop into today's story. So it has gone viral already that King Harris, the son of T.I. Tip Harris, and his family were arguing at a Falcons game about his upbringing. And so the whole premise is he's arguing, claiming that he grew up in some form of hardship, right? Like he grew up in hardship. He's familiar with the streets and the street life and life in the hood. And yet his parents who raised him are basically rebuking him and telling him everything that he's saying is nonsense. And I think the whole world is calling cap on what he is saying. So let's go ahead and check this clip out and let's comment on this as we observe this foolishness that is happening right here.
King, have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Here. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then. So there it goes.
Or in your ear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got some in the neighborhood with me that broke up with roach in your ear. Y'all want to go to the bando and man my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? Do y'all want to go to the bando? To make him look better, he said it he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath
Every
and
day.
throw tantrums to go over there.
I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside in the neighborhood. That's why I want to be over there. But they don't understand
No,
that.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why he want to be over there. Y'all ready?
What was the reason?
Cause he can suck and pacify over there till he was 12 years old. He was sucking.
So after the moment where he gets taunted by his mom for sucking on a pacifier till he was 12 years old, this later escalates into some pushing and some shoving, and it appears that T.I. later has him in a headlock and basically tells him that, look, man, you cannot fight with me. I don't know what you're trying to do. So look, this is nothing new. On one hand, we have definitely seen stuff like this before, and we'll actually look at another example in just a second. But what is striking is you can see the level of like how convinced he is about this reality that he's claiming. He is so convinced that this is true, that he grew up in hardship. It's like he is totally delusional, and he cannot understand or even grasp the idea that people really grow up in poverty. People really grow up facing hardship. Anyone who's really from the hood is trying to better themselves and to get out. But instead, you have people who are not from there, like him, glorifying the negative aspects of life in the hood in order to bring some sort of credibility to his life as some sort of hardened guy who is familiar with the streets, man. I mean, it is so silly, but it seems that because of that music career that he's trying to have and create this persona of being this tough guy, he finds himself making all these claims and doing all these things when, man, you could be using your platform that your parents have given you, the work that your dad's put in and in his businesses and his rapping and his acting even and all this stuff. You could be using that as a platform to better yourself and launch yourself and actually uplift people instead of glorifying violence and foolishness like he's doing in his music. This is not a new phenomenon because we have seen in recent times. Morant is another case where we have somebody who grew up with his father present, and yet, even with a multi-million-dollar NBA contract, decides to embrace a fake thug persona in order to look hard, in order to look like he is someone to be feared. And the result is it's gotten him in a lot of trouble. We also had Michael Irvin, Dallas Cowboys legend, go on Undisputed and talk about his son, who again grew up with everything a kid could want in the home, right? With the successful father there and with wealth and everything, and yet is trying to create yet again a fake image of himself as some sort of gangster.
I got a son. He raps. His rap name is Tut Tarantino. If you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my God, where does this come from, son? You grew up in a gated community your whole life, but he's rapping my life because we romanticize and fantasize about that old thug life, ghetto life, and all of that stuff. When we used to work to get away from it, now we've gotten to a place somehow we're running back towards it in the music and everything.
So you see the statement from Michael Irvin there, just further bringing this point home that these guys are not who they claim to be, and that it is a useless endeavor, especially trying to imitate, in his son's case, trying to imitate his life, right? Michael Irvin's life. And he's actually saying, look, we were trying to get out. We were trying to leave that environment and better ourselves. You have an opportunity that many people would do a lot for. You know, they would do almost anything for, to be in, to trade places with you. But instead, you're embracing these lies and this fake image, this false image. And I do believe that what we're witnessing and why this is becoming more and more prevalent is because as we see society break down, as we see the moral and spiritual decay that happens in society, it happens on multiple levels. And we see that the family structure, first of all, has been affected, right? But even in cases where the family has been intact or the family is intact, there might be questions of the upbringing in the home. There might be questions about the value system, what is actually perceived to be the important things in life. And then the absence of God in the home, the absence of an idea that you are responsible to a holy God for the way that you act. And there's a fear of God that causes you to not even want to pretend that you harm people because you know that your words and your actions actually, you're going to have to be accountable for them. There's a way that people conduct themselves when they have that kind of fear. But we don't have that kind of fear anymore. We're not seeing that be a real thing, at least not in large numbers. It's just that's more of a minority thing now. As the world moves further and further away from God, you see we move further and further towards self-destruction. And that is happening on multiple levels. And you're seeing the young people now being influenced, even people who grew up in nice houses, nice homes, being influenced by thug culture, all in the name of being notorious, being well-known and having this kind of status that causes you to be what they would deem to be respected. There's also a false idea of what it means to be a man and what it means to be tough. So not only has, I believe, the feminization of society affected the way young men see themselves and what is deemed to be acceptable and what is actually right, but then you also have the fact that the role models that are there that are somewhat masculine are people who you wouldn't really want to be looking up to, or at least you shouldn't be looking up to, because the things that they're influencing you to do are actually a perverted view of masculinity, a perverted view of what it means to be a man. All around, there's just a lack of identity. There is a lack of self-worth happening, and really a misplacement of where one's value truly is. And that is just simply being an image bearer of God, recognizing that you are created in the image of God and knowing that there is a God to whom you are accountable for your actions changes the way one behaves and conducts themselves. and also how they perceive what is most important. And so we need to warn young men to stay away from these false ideas of what it means to be a man, what it means to be somebody who is respected, and to actually give them and plant seeds in their minds that show them what true manhood looks like. And I will always point people to Christ if you want to see what the ultimate man looks like. Somebody who was sacrificial, someone who was strong, yet gentle, compassionate, loving, yet not running away from rebuking people, calling out evil, holding on to those who are brokenhearted, guiding people in the way that is going to lead them to life and not the way that is leading them to self-destruction. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear from y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right? God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.